Hello everyone, it's Jaden here. Welcome back to another Student Pages Magazine Artist Spotlight interview. Hope you're all doing well today. Today we are here with Joe and Callum of Big Special. Would you guys just give the people at home a bit of a background into how you got into the music industry?
We've been trying for about 16 years, but eventually it works. So just consistency and stupidity, not moving on and trying a different job. That's the
Yeah, I
secret.
mean, fair enough.
You got to stick with it, man. We met at college when we were like 17, when we were in bands back then. Yeah, it was all grand and whatever, but it was only in the lockdown we started this idea. We've been off working normal jobs and just living normal lives up until our 30s. We really focused on, with this band, like, because it was lockdown, we were gifted the time.
Making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on the arts, which is sort of, I think, in this fast modern world, people don't do that, do they? People are very quick to just write a song and put it on TikTok, where we were just very focused on wanting to make something broader than that. We wanted to do an album. We didn't just want to come out with a couple of songs. Just world building. We just spent the whole time just making this band, you know. When we came out of the lockdown, we were like raring to go by that point. Yeah, from there it was like a series of like really lucky events that got us into where we are now. Like our label heard us by chance, and we got signed really early on as this project. You know, the right people heard it, and it's been a full-time job now for about 2 years of just gigging around the world. And it's been 4 years of Big Special, 2 years of success, but 16 years of desperately trying to be a fucking musician, working. By the end, it was harsh to call it that. It was hard to call ourselves. I mean, I was a van driver. You know, I was doing wedding bands on the side and stuff. Joe was labouring. As you get older, the race gets harder. Eventually, fucking yeah. I don't know if like you don't want to say made it or anything silly like that. Do you know what I mean? But we're doing it full time now. You know, we're making enough to live off it.
It feels like if you feel like you made it, ain't you?
Yeah,
If you
yeah, yeah.
milkman
We
or
ain't
astronaut, if you feel like it.
milkman or astronaut.
Oh,
The only
that's a
two.
good way. Made it. We make just above like minimum wage a month now, but it's doing our own thing, that's all I've wanted really, so it's
Yeah,
fucking.
if you're doing something you're enjoying, it's like it's worth it, isn't it? So I mean, you guys as band and your music has very like, distinct image, I suppose. A lot of it is about hope and despair and fighting against the machine to a degree. So with your new album then, how would you say that's developed you guys as artists, and how do you think that's changed the space of your own personal music?
I suppose we're trying to prove less to ourselves now. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a bit more like because we've built the band now. Like we know what the band sounds like and stuff, and we're trying out different ways of recording and that, and we're just like enjoying that and enjoying sitting in the craft. And yeah, definitely a bit more confidence, like a bit more sleaze. Like when we was recording that first album, I'd never performed like spoken word in front of people, whereas now recording it. I've done that hundreds and hundreds of times now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you got the confidence, you got the backbone now.
We're not trying to constantly convince each other. No, it is like we are a band. It is good. So we both pretty confident that this is like a thing now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's only so many times you can like, to play a sold out venue before eventually you're just like, oh fucking hell, you know what? People will come to see this. It's not just us that thinks this is good. Like there are
Yeah, it's like, we've done something right.
Yeah.
people actually want to fucking listen to this. You can't act surprised anymore. Do you know?
Yeah, no, it comes a point where you're like, okay, yeah, we've done it then. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, so I'm assuming then there's been people along the way, maybe family members, maybe friends that have, inspired you to keep going. How have those voices in your life driven you to get to where it is now? Have they been helpful? Were there any doubters along the way?
Oh.
There's silence. Nah, it's a long journey, and I think a lot of people keen to encourage it when it's going well. It's a very long path to get here, and it takes some faith along the way.
You're always going to have the doubters, aren't you? I mean, have you ever had people online sort of, you know, take a jab at your music and what you do? Because that's so common these days with online trolls and stuff.
We're so much luckier than some other bands, though. I tell you, we were talking about this the other day. We're two
Yeah.
straight white males. Like we don't face adversity online. There's a band called The Pill. If you go who making absolute class punk music, they're like they're just coming up now, like, but they're fronted by these two women. And if you go on their page and you look at anything that they put out, all they get is just dickheads just being like just rinsing every single thing they do because of who they are. Like,
Yeah, they
so
will, won't they?
we're quite
It's
lucky
the
in that
online
regard,
space
yeah.
we're in a minute.
It's weird, and it like people just feel like you can be an absolute prat online to and say what you want. But we we get the odd one. The difference is our negative comments are like so uncreative. They're just like, this is shit, and that's fine. And then it's like, yeah, no one's attacking us for like who we are or what we are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, better than personal attacks, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't get that. You know what I mean?
It's good that you can actually recognize that it happens, though, because again, it's like so many people turn a blind eye to this kind of stuff. But I
Some people
suppose, given the
don't
kind of music
recognise
that you
it.
guys make, it's inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, man. The people don't recognise it, it just ain't looking. You know what I mean? It's plain to see.
I mean, have you guys had any sort outside of music and outside of social media? Have you had any sort of personal struggles that have helped you, find your voice as musicians? Has any of that been channeled through the music?
Yeah, our whole life experience, I suppose, man. I think it's about just the struggle of the normal life of everyone, and how you can talk about your personal experience with that, and then it shows how common that is, amongst everyone. Everyone's got a struggle.
We're very open about our mental health as well. I think that's a big part of it. I think a lot of the hope in our music comes from people's relation to that.
It was
Just
your
about,
song "This Air Ain't
you know,
Water," isn't it? That was about mental health struggles.
It started through all our stuff, man. Like we say, we just try and write honestly, like, and creatively about our experience, and in a way that maybe shows that that's a broader experience.
I think music's such a great outlet for those kinds of emotions and those experiences because I'm sure you'll agree it manages to get messages out in a completely different way that just speaking or typing can.
it's also like you get the opportunity to see that live. You get when you find an artist that really resonates with you on an emotional level, and then you get to go to a room filled with other people who are like-minded enough to have 9 times out of 10 have that same emotional connection to an artist. It's a cathartic form of, we always say, it's taking something negative and like, struggles with mental health or like, from the grind of everyday work that everybody has to deal with if you live a normal working class life. It's taking those things and turning it into a positive. It's a group experience where we can all go, all scream at the void together and like, yeah, that is shit, but we all acknowledge it. And the fact that we're all here accepting of it and seeing it in each other
You're
makes
all in the
everything.
same boat.
Yeah, and from that, this band's been going a couple of years now. We're starting to see a really great community forming around it. Like the same people turning up to gigs that we see a lot of them and stuff. They're it's fucking great, man. It's nice to think that there's like it's a victory in itself. That is.
No, absolutely. I mean, as far as your community goes, then, like, I always go for this question because it's so funny to hear the range of answers that we get. As far as social media, then, because I remember when we joined you struggling with Zoom. How do you guys use social media? It's like, are you quite savvy with it? Do you know how to find your people via it, or are you not?
We,
Are you not all that keen? We get a
I'll
range here. We get a range here.
yeah. We don't do like TikTok or anything like that. And we've got a Facebook page, but neither of us use Facebook. We're that Instagram generation. When that eventually gets deleted, I think I think we'll probably have to do something else with our time. Yeah,
But yeah,
I
I
don't
think, I
know.
think we definitely learned about it like the last couple of years. But like we ain't don't know like the mechanics of it and all that sort of stuff. But like we always said, like the goal's to sell our albums and sell our tickets to our shows, and we'll use the tools that we got to like get to those things. So we got a class photographer called Izzy. He's like documented all our stuff like from the off. So we've got all that stuff. We just put that online and be like, this is what we're doing, this is what we do, and hopefully that pushes people towards like the stuff that really matters, which is like the albums and the shows. But what's good as well is because we've got Izzy, who's a proper photographer and that like and loves it, is that like at least the stuff we're putting on as well is still like well thought out work from someone who cares about the work that they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you spoke there actually about something I was going to ask in the music industry. How important do you think it is to find other people to collaborate with? Do you reckon it's possible to go it alone, or do you always think you're going to need not always a team, but other collaborators?
There's like DIY bands out there, obviously, that are like doing it all themselves, and they're reaping the benefits of that. I think it's a good creative thing to do, to be open to allowing other people into certain aspects of your vision, but it's always got to remain your vision. Like big special is me and Joe. Understanding other people's skill sets is good as well. I wouldn't want to. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to like. I don't know. We don't really write with anyone else musically. Everyone who's come on board has done so out of passion to start with, which is a big thing. I think you know, you wouldn't want to surround yourself with yes men, but people who you want to, or people who are just there for the dime. We managed to find everyone who we work with is here because they really believe in us and believe in the band and believe in what we're doing. And now we're paying salaries for people. You know, people have got wages coming off our gigs, which is nice. It's nice to see this. It's almost like being able to return that trust from the off.
For us getting signed and getting that like backing and support was like what made us be able to get a work, like, you know what I mean? Like anyone who got involved with us put time and effort in because they wanted to, or like they believed in it or whatever. And so that it's sound having a team that's like got our backs, like, you know what I mean?
It's got to help when you actually know your team as well, because I bet there's some of the artists out there that have no idea who's working for them. It's like meeting someone at Q at Greg's and giving them a key to your house because they bought you a steak bait. You know what I mean? It's like, what would you guys say is the biggest piece of advice you've got then for students that want to do what you do, that want to go into this industry? What would you suggest?
Don't rush and be honest.
There ain't no shortcuts as well. We got lucky, but we also put 16 years of hard graft in trying to be musicians before that into our skill set more than anything. Write music. That's what you should be spending your time doing.
He said once to me, like, if we were rehearsing in a place where we used to when we was kids, and we were chatting like, man, we stood here out the front. Could you imagine if like us now walk past and we're like, lads, in 13 years you're gonna be making it, and then our reply would be 13 years.
Not, oh, brilliant, we made it, but what do you mean it took that long?
Fucking years, man.
Honestly.
There's no like advice that I think is uplifting. You know, you gotta be you. Like, you know, that sounds so cheesy in that, but it's like you gotta find that way of like finding that self-awareness of like being your thing and commit to it. Like, you know, spend your time on the art, like figure out what you want to be. Do you want to be popular on Instagram, or do you want to be a good artist that's gonna like put out music along with the artist style of and be part of that? And you know, there's no right or wrong answer, but like just figure it out and commit
It's got to
to
be
it.
authentic.
Like, yeah, just do that.
Yeah.
Like, but don't think about it too much, otherwise you ain't gonna be authentic. You know what I mean? You ain't got to fake something to do that. Just write about whatever that experience is, you know, and you'll find some.
Yeah, the personal's the most important thing about being it's about songwriting, about being an artist, isn't it? It's like just your honest personal perspective. That's the job.
And enjoy the craft, you know. Don't rush it. Don't look for the pockets, like fucking trying to get there fast. You know, there's a craft to it as well. You're supposed to enjoy that. You're supposed to want to be good at it. Like, you know.
No, absolutely fantastic. I mean, so you've just had the album come out. Is there anything else that you guys are currently working on that you're wanting to get out there, or is that everything you're allowed to say for now? Just promote the album.
You know, there's little
Oh,
bits and bobs on the way.
I'm sure albums enough to keep people on for now. To be fair,
There's some stuff coming this year. Just keep an eye out. There's going to be.
yeah, man, we've been busy, boys. We're busy in the studio and all that. It's gonna be cool.
We ain't done yet.
right? Keep your eyes peeled is what I'm hearing. That lovely stuff. Right, wonderful. Well, thank you ever so much for coming on for us. It's been wonderful talking to you guys. And
Thank
yeah,
you very
best
much.
of luck
Thank
with
you.
everything in future.
No, it's fun, man. I'll
You
see
too,
you
man.
soon.
All the
Pleasure,
best for
pleasure.
everything,
Yeah,
man. Take care.
nice one. Cheers. See you later.
Bye bye.